My name is Amalia Castañeda.
My name is Sandra Phifer.
I'm Roxanne Watson.
My name is Phifer. I'm 52 years old.
67 years old.
I am 58 years old.
I am heart recipient.
I'm a double lung recipient and recently a kidney recipient.
I received a heart transplant 2 years ago.
Every year, thousands of people just like you and me, receive an organ, eye, or tissue transplant. Many recipients and donors are over the age of 50. One reason? We're living longer, healthier lives, so we can be organ recipients and organ donors later in life. In fact, in 2014, about 1 out of every 3 organ donors, deceased and living, was over the age of 50. Sandy Phifer's husband Joe became an organ donor when he died at the age of 66, donating his kidneys and liver.
About 6 years before his death, he registered to be a donor. After he was declared dead, they approached me in the hospital about donations. And that's when it was simple for me to say yes, because I knew that that was something that we had discussed, and that's something that he was willing to do. I thought about the wife that may be sitting beside a bed and her loved one was just hanging on the verge waiting. And to know that she could go home and tell her children, that dad is going to be fine. They found a donor. He's going to come out of this victorious. That is the best feeling of relief that you will ever have.
We can receive organs later in life as well. Nick Dumas was 73 when he received a liver transplant from a woman in her late 70s.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Nick himself has been a registered organ donor for 15 years and believes that everyone who can be a donor should be a donor.
Why waste it? I'm here because someone made that donation. That individual made it possible for me, and I owe that to that individual.
Amalia Castañeda's donor transformed an entire family by saving the life of a wife, mother, and grandmother in the nick of time.
I thought that I was on my final days. Since the transplant, I do many things. I try to do things that help others.
She's a very important part of the family. She loves all the grandsons and granddaughters.
And Amalia is forever grateful to her donor.
Thanks to the transplant, I'm here. I'm grateful. I just say thank you for giving me life again.
Right now, more than 120,000 people are on the National Organ Transplant waiting list. But each year, there are only about 14,000 donors, living and deceased, enough to make about 28,000 transplants happen. As a result, an average of 22 people die each day waiting for an organ. Steve Faircow was one of the fortunate ones.
Right before I got the call, I honestly don't think I had more than a couple weeks or maybe a month to live. We did physical therapy on me, which involved pounding on my chest for 2-hour treatments 4 times a day. So for 8 hours a day, someone was pounding on my chest to help me keep my lungs clear.
Steve waited 2.5 years for a double lung transplant.
After I got my new lungs, I started doing things that I had never been able to do. I ran my first 5K, maybe about a year after my transplant. 3 years after transplant, I got involved in an event where you take the stairs 94 floors up to the top of the John Hancock Center. It's called the Hustle Up the Hancock. The first year I climbed alone, and I climbed in honor of my lung donor. Wouldn't you like that when you left this beautiful planet, that you could save a few lives on your way out?
A few years after receiving his lungs, Steve also received a kidney from a young, living donor.
It's an incredible gift, and there's not an age limit on who can give and who can't.
I was in the hospital 104 days, 78 days waiting for the heart. I was the longest inpatient wait in that hospital's history for a heart.
After Roxanne Watson received a heart transplant, she became a tireless advocate for organ donation.
When I talk to people over 50 about signing up, first of all, I tell them that I'm over 50, and hopefully they don't believe me. First thing they say is, my Organs are too old. You're never too old. 8 people can be helped with the major organs. And when you think about it that way, that you could help that many people, it's amazing. It really is. You're absolutely never too old to donate.
When Joe died, he was 66 years old.
If you're 50, 60, or 70, you can be a donor at any age.
And there's 3 people that are walking around here today because he was a donor.
One deceased donor can save up to 8 lives through organ donation and help up to 50 more by donating corneas, skin, and other tissues. And while living, people can donate a kidney or a portion of their liver or lung. Imagine what you could make possible.
After my transplant, it's like born again. When I wake up and I feel that I can breathe easily.
My goal is to be the biggest advocate, obviously, for the cause of organ donation, but also to sign up the most people in the United States of America. That's my goal.
I never knew that breathing could feel this good, and I never knew that life could be this easy.
This is a letter that I received from one of the recipients, and it says, "Dear donor family, I received a kidney and am very grateful to the family. My life and my children have improved by your act of kindness. They have seen the improvement in me, and I cannot thank you enough."
Join more than 120 million registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. Any age is the right age to consider sharing the gift of life. Start at organdonor.gov to sign up in your state donor registry and to learn more about living and deceased donation.